time of practice. So to give ourselves as much of this time to be present with our experience, whatever that is. And just to, well, before I jump into that, to welcome everyone, welcome you to our Sunday morning session, sponsored by the Insight Meditation Community Washington, IMCW, and the Center for Mindful Living, which is under IMCW's umbrella. And we met for for the last few years in Tenleytown, and going back the last 20 years in fairly close to Tenleytown and Chevy Chase and Woodmont, Woodley Park, going back to 2000. Interestingly, I was thinking about that, and I started teaching meditation in 2020, and 2000, I mean, 2020 now, 2000. And I started up a regular Sunday morning session. And I also was teaching a course at the Smithsonian, which went from, I think, September or maybe October through December. And I remember I'd go in to teach that class, and if we put our minds back to 2000, it took, I don't know how many weeks it was, about 8 weeks, wasn't it? Well, it was early December when we finally got the result of that election. And so kind of just remembering that, and not that we're definitely hopeful that that's not the case this time, but just to acknowledge that this is it's a time of a lot of anxiety and apprehension. I was just teaching I teach a regular session online Sunday mornings before our class at 9 o'clock, and we had about over 700 people from around the world, because it's a worldwide kind of community. And I talked about the situation in, the lot of apprehension and anxiety in the US around the election. I was very intentional about not naming names or being very, very clear, trying to be as clear as possible about to not indicate, kind of turn it into a divisive thing, that some people would feel excluded. But I kind of referred back to 2016 and how many of us were feeling, hopeful, but then, and we're kind of had a lot of people now here have a lot of apprehension about, kind of a PTSD from 2016. I mean, kind of recognizing a lot of hope, but also thinking, oh, but what happened in 2016? And I just kind of referred to that, and somebody in the chat box kind of said, that they were kind of triggered by, they were affected by the fact that, they felt, that they were on a kind of different side of things. So it's very difficult to, it's not easy to talk in kind of generic terms about what's going on. And, to be very explicit, in our community, I think overwhelmingly people want to see a caring and compassionate leadership come out of this election. And for most people, certainly in our community, that comes down very clearly on one side. But then even to say that is to say, if you're not within that particular kind of way of thinking, very easily you feel like, oh, I'm not part of this. So it's a kind of a bit of a tightrope to say anything that's meaningful, that isn't kind of completely bland, but not to leave people feeling excluded, feeling that these teachings and these practices aren't for them, and so, or aren't for all of us. And so, just kind of reflecting on that, I can certainly name my own experience and not speak as though that's the experience of everyone. And just noting for myself a sense of hope. And I spoke last week about hope, as a theme, hope, and at the same time apprehension both around because of what happened 4 years ago, but also apprehension because we don't know how this particular president will react, even if there is an overwhelming, number of people voting one way. And so there's apprehension on that level too. And so, if there's a theme for today, it's opening to all that's present for us in the body and the heart and the mind, particularly in the emotions that come up and are coming up. I'd be surprised if if many of us weren't feeling some sense of, maybe some hope, maybe some fears, anxiety, worries, uncertainty. Those are very much in the field that we're in right now. And the teachings and the practices of the Dharma, the Buddhist teachings and practices, I think provide powerful gift to us to be able to hold everything, to hold the full catastrophe, to hold whatever's present in the body and the heart and the mind and in our lives and in our community and in our world, that we have the capacity, if we meet our experience, whatever is here, wisely and kindly. And so that's really what I'd like to emphasize today, and not excuse me, and to do that not so much through talking, but more through practice itself, kind of giving ourselves time to really open with kindness and with care to whatever is present. Nadia says, I am observing that most people I know, regardless whom they're voting for, are feeling hope and apprehension. The feelings are the same, the candidates are different. Lovely, thank you for sharing that. And just acknowledging that whatever, we're feeling, whatever we're hoping, whatever we're worried about, that we can hold what's present for us, and that we can feel ourselves held in community. These teachings, these practices remind us that we suffer when we create separation. And we're living in a time of huge separation, of divisions. It's almost like the country is split almost down the middle, of people feeling fervently, not just a little bit this way, but fervently, in supporting what they believe in. And so recognizing that, that our happiness and well-being come from not creating separation, from not creating division, that when we do that, we create suffering. So inviting ourselves to acknowledge the truth of the divisions, and also that we're called upon in this period to make choices. We could say, oh, I'm above this, I don't need to care about this, but that would be another form of delusion. I think it's appropriate that we care and that we are involved, but the invitation is to care and be involved, but without creating the other out there, the bad people, those people that are doing this. And so it can be a lot to hold, to really, in the words of T.S. Eliot, teach us to care and not to care. Teach us to care in the sense of really being concerned, really being connected, caring about how things unfold, but not in a way that's that's clinging to outcomes, clinging to things being a certain way. Because if we do cling, we suffer. That's kind of the core of the Buddha's teachings. We cling, we suffer. So to see where we are clinging, if we are holding on to anything, and to invite ourselves to kind of relax that, let it go, let it be. So just with that as a little bit of an introduction, recognizing too that we're in the middle of this pandemic, going into what, about 8 months now, 9 months now, and it's flaring again in almost every state of the union, coming up around 1,000 people a day dying, and holding them and all their loved ones in our hearts, and just recognizing as we begin that we're all holding a lot in these times, a lot in terms of our own lives, in terms of our own situation and how that's been changed by the pandemic, and how we're affected by the elections and everything that's going on, the struggle for racial justice. So let's begin the meditation. Like, you can close your eyes, let your attention come inward. And just check in with your body. Sitting in a way that's comfortable, relaxed. Just inviting the body to be at ease. Feeling the contact with the surface beneath you. Feeling the sensations of the body breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. And you might invite your breath to deepen. Taking a longer, deeper breath. Filling the lungs, filling the chest. And then releasing on the out breath. Nice full deep in breath, letting the breath help you to settle and arrive. Breathing in, breathing out. Relaxing the body as you breathe in and breathe out. Breathing in, calming the body, and breathing out, calming the mind. Feeling the energy of the in-breath and the relaxing of the out-breath. And inviting the body as a whole to be relaxed as you breathe in and breathe out. Whenever you're ready, letting the breath settle back into its natural rhythm. Breathing in, breathing out. And as a way of calming the body and the mind, you might invite a smile to your face. Just activating the muscles of the corners of the eyes and the corners of the mouth. Thinking about someone who easily makes you feel happy or joyful or peaceful. And inviting a smile. A loved one, a good friend, child, or a pet. Inviting a smile. The smile sends a message to our brain and to our nervous system that we can relax, we can be at ease. We don't have to be hypervigilant. See how that feels in the body. Maybe inviting the smile down into the body, into the heart. And take a moment to reflect on gratitude, on some things in your life that you easily can feel thankful for, grateful for. So see if you can connect with gratitude. Gratitude for loved ones, to the conditions in your life, maybe your health, maybe your spiritual or religious practice. Maybe just being here, being in nature. Whatever comes up for you, just to take that in. Take in any feeling of gratitude. Maybe grateful to this community or the wider community. This earth. So take some moments to reflect on gratitude. Can be a great way of stepping out of the focus that we can be in a lot of the time of thinking about what's wrong or what needs to change or what we're missing or lacking. And that can cause us stress and suffering. So just shifting the attention and the energy towards what we have, what we're grateful for, what we appreciate, can be a very powerful antidote to stress and worry and other difficult states. Take a few minutes to reflect on gratitude. When you're ready, just letting the attention come to your breathing. If that's helpful to you, just to rest the attention on the in-breath and the out-breath. Breathing in, breathing out. The breath just as it is. Breathing in, knowing you're breathing in. Breathing out, knowing you're breathing out. You might rest your attention where the breath is most noticeable or most comfortable or feels most pleasant. Maybe at the nostrils or the chest or belly, rising, falling, in breath and out breath. When the mind goes off into thought, as it likely will at times, sometimes often, just gently and kindly let your attention come back. In breath and out breath. Let this attention rest within an attitude of kindness and acceptance to whatever is present in the body and the heart and the mind. Holding whatever you're experiencing with kindness, with compassion, with care. And with this attitude of care and kindness, resting your attention on the breath, if that's helpful, you might just scan out into your wider experience and notice what's present right now. Notice any mood that's present, any emotions or mind states. See if you can make space for whatever is here. Allowing everything to come and go with kindness, with acceptance. Welcoming the guests in Rumi's term, making space for whatever's here. If it feels difficult to open to what's present for you right now, know that you can come back, you can take a few deeper breaths that can help you and become more balanced again, more calmer, more at ease. Open up maybe a little bit more space. A smile can be helpful. To let you make space for whatever is here. A hand on the heart, maybe on the belly, connecting with yourself and anything difficult you're experiencing. Could be just a simple wish. May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. And anything that feels difficult, may be helpful too to recognize that you're not alone, that others are experiencing similar difficulties or challenges. Maybe not exactly the same, maybe about different things, but that you're part of this larger body, beings. Feel yourself held in this community, all of us here together. Connecting with how you're feeling, not just in this moment, but over these days or in this period. You know, maybe connected with the pandemic or with the elections or with other things going on in the world, conflicts and difficult situations, or things going on in our own lives. Just see if you can make space to hold whatever is here right now, whatever's present. See if you can let this container of kind awareness be large enough to hold whatever you're feeling. Just wishing, intending that your experience, will, all different aspects of your experience, be held in awareness with kindness, with loving kindness. The more we open fully to our experience and open-heartedly to our experience, the more we soften and loosen the tentacles of clinging and aversion, delusion, and this sense of a separate self that we build, we create, kind of fabricate out of our washing, out of our clinging, out of our craving or aversion. So is it possible to say yes to whatever is here? Eckhart Tolle says, what you accept, you go beyond. What you accept, you go beyond. So inviting an attitude of acceptance to what is here right now. The other side of that, Jung said, what you resist persists. So when you resist anything, kind of gives it an energy actually to stay around. So in this practice, we invite a softening of the resistance to our own experience of what's here, to accept and to open to all that's present in the heart and the mind and the body. and feeling yourself held in this community with kindness, with care. Each one of us. Whenever you feel you're tightening up into old habits of maybe fear or worry or anger, some other emotion, when you notice that, just invite a softening of the body, relaxing of the mind. In the words of Dorothy Hunt, peace is this moment without judgment. This moment in the heart space where everything that is welcome. Share these thoughts on working with difficult emotions and mind states from Rainer Maria Rilke, his letters to a young poet. We have no reason to harbor any mistrust against our world, for it is not against us. If it has terrors, they are our terrors. If it has abysses, these abysses belong to us. If there are dangers, we must try to love them. And if only we arrange our life in accordance with the principle which tells us that we must always trust in the difficult, then what now appears to us as the most alien will become our most intimate and trusted experience. How could we forget those ancient myths that stand at the beginning of all races? The myths about dragons that at the last moment are transformed into princesses. Perhaps all the dragons in our lives are princesses who are only waiting to see us act just once with beauty and courage. Perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that wants our love. Perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that wants our love. So is it possible to open with kindness, with care, to whatever is present for you in the body and the heart and the mind, whatever's here, letting it come, letting it be, letting it go. I think it was Robert Bly who said, every part of ourselves that we don't learn to love and accept will become hostile to us. Every part of ourselves that we don't learn to love and accept will become hostile to us. So we invite this attitude of kindness and acceptance to what's here, what's present. So we'll, if you're ready, Emily will lead us in some mindful movement, and we'll come back for some group time.
So find your feet, allowing those feet to ground you, feeling the earth, and turning palms out. And take a breath in and rise up, reaching up, and cultivate the energy of the stars and the clouds and the rain. And turning your palms up, reaching up, grasp your right wrist in your left hand. Inhaling up and exhale, tilt to the left. Breathing here, breathing into your right rib cage. And exhale up. Switch wrists. Grasp your left wrist, inhaling up. And exhale. Tilt over to the right. Reaching out from your left hip out. And inhale up. And then float your arms down, moving your shoulders. Each shoulder one way and then the other. Getting all those wonderful places of tension and release. And then place your hands above your knees. Oh, we forgot the back bend. Place your hands at the back of your waist. Inhale deeply, lifting your chest, your head up. Exhale, lengthen your arms away from your body. And then release down. Inhale, lift your head, lift your chest, extend out. And exhale, release. Again, inhale, lifting, rising up and out. And exhale, release. Allow your hands to expand. Do a dance of whatever you might wish. And the last movement is to place your hands above your knees. Inhale deeply. And exhale, round. Allow the weight and gravity to gather your head, allowing everything to fold, release. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale with a sigh. Another deep inhale. And exhale. And now place your hands back above your knees. Press on your feet, lifting up, rising up. Place your hands at heart center and release to the sky. Release to us, the community, and to the earth. Thank you so much. Great to be with you.
Thank you, Emily. That's lovely, lovely to get into our bodies and stretch. It was beautiful. Thank you. We'll go into groups. Just a couple of prompts. If you'd like to share a few words about, what you're experiencing right now, and maybe a little about what anything that you're able to do to, as a resource, to find more peace or find more balance if this is an anxious time for you. And to each person take 2 or 3 minutes to share, and then pass on to the next person, and hopefully have enough time at the end for a little bit more sharing. And gonna change my view. Lovely to see all of you. Hope the group was helpful. Please feel free to share in the chat box anything that that came up for you? I mean, anything that you're working with today, anything you'd like to share with the group as a whole, or if there's anything you want to share with me, you can share personally if you'd like to, or otherwise just with everybody. Adriana, I just saw your message a bit late in the game. I'm glad you found a way and joined a lovely group. That's great. Let's take a couple of minutes, a few minutes, to, obviously we can share in the chat, and also if anyone has anything that you'd like to share with the whole group, you please raise your hand, and be able to see if you raise your hand either physically or through the reactions, or you can do it on the I think in the participant box. So let's just see here. Anyone wanting to share anything? Nice to see everyone. Denise in Albuquerque. Linnea in Spokane. Welcome back, Linnea. And let's see, a lot of regular folks from around our area. And hope you're all doing well. Christine, you have your cat on your shoulders. I guess that's your avatar. Jackie in Maine, welcome. Charlotte in New York City, welcome. Did you want to share something, Emily?
I did.
Yeah, please.
I just wanted to say how grateful I am for being in the practice room. I was thinking how much sincerity is a true sign of presence, that we were both sincere and open, and that just came so naturally after the meditation. And thank you, Rich, for being with me.
Thank you, Emily, and thank you, Rich. Yeah. How's anyone else doing? And anyone feeling anxious or apprehensive? Hopeful?
Hopeful. We're trying to stay hopeful.
Trying to stay hopeful. Quote of, what is not brought into consciousness comes to us as fate. What isn't brought into consciousness comes to us as fate. That if we don't consciously allow ourselves to feel our feelings will come out in one way or the other, often in painful ways, often in harmful ways. You know, I often quote James Baldwin as well to similar effect, where he says, I think that much of I think that the reason people cling so tightly to their hate is because they recognize that if they open to that, they'd have to feel their own pain. They'd have to feel their own pain. And I feel that so much of the unconscious anger and conflict and violence comes from an unwillingness or an inability to feel our own pain. You know, we don't have the ways, or sometimes we may find it too difficult or too painful. We don't want to go there. So it becomes easier to kind of lash out at others, at the world, sometimes at ourselves. So I just wanted to share that because I think your insight, your experience is a powerful one, Francine, just to recognize what's here, but what we weren't aware of feeling, that we're feeling. So thank you. So what I would like to do in the last 10, 15 minutes is to finish with a meditation. And I feel inclined to go in the direction of loving kindness, because it's a time where I think more than anything, we need connection. We need to feel ourselves connected as we are here in community, but connected also with those who we might feel disconnected from. We think, how could you vote for X or Y? How could you do that? And there's so much division, so much lack of understanding, that I think it really behooves us, it really serves us to pause, to go inward, to come inward, and to really invite a connection with what I think we know on a deeper level, that we're connected more deeply with others, even those we feel, divided from, than we're actually aware of, that our connection is much deeper than our difference. I often give the example, if somebody was, lying on the street, in pain, we would immediately do everything we could to help them. I think that's it is a natural response that we have at being human, to be compassionate, to care about somebody's suffering. We wouldn't ask, but before I help you, could you tell me who you voted for in the election? I mean, we wouldn't do that. It would be like, it's funny even to say that, but yet the divisions between us feel so deep. And yet on the deepest level, we're much more connected than all of that. And I spoke last week, when talking about hope, of the sense of wanting to get to the place where we can envision, where we can hope for a way of living together that really includes us all. That doesn't mean, we're getting our way this time because you got your way last time. That doesn't come from those feelings and emotions that really just exacerbate divisions between us, but really have the intention, have the wish that, what gets acted out in public life and in our own hearts really is for the benefit of all, not just for people who think like us or vote like us. And that's my deepest aspiration. And it's natural that we do go into, we want a certain outcome of these elections, whatever that is for each of us, because we think it will be better for everybody if that's how things unfold. But and it's appropriate for us to do so, because that's the choice that we're given, and that we're faced within the conditions and the arrangements, the political arrangements that exist. But that our aspiration, I think, needs to be to include us all. So having said that, just invite you again to come back to a comfortable, relaxed posture. Then you might begin again with some deeper breaths, just to help you relax and settle again. The in-breath bringing energy into the body and the being, and the out-breath relaxing us. So energizing, relaxing. Remembering the smile, how it can help us soften and relax. feel connected with those we love and care about, and with others too, with all beings. Remembering the power of gratitude to help us shift out of the narrower, more defended mode that we can easily be caught up in, looking at what's wrong or what we need to do or what we need to change. Just coming back to what we already have, what we're thankful for and appreciate. And letting the breath just settle and relax back. Letting the breath be your focus or anchor if that's a helpful way of being here. And connecting with whatever is present for you right now in the body, the mind, the heart. Caring about yourself and your life. If it's helpful, putting a hand on your heart, connecting with this life. Connecting with the one we often forget about. In the words of the Spanish poet Juan Ramón Jiménez, he says, "I am not I am this one walking beside me, whom I do not see, whom at times I manage to visit, and whom at other times I forget, the one who remains silent when I talk, the one who forgives, sweet when I hate, the one who takes a walk where I am not, the one who will remain standing when I die." Connecting with this life, this being, this consciousness. Connecting to feeling ourselves part of this larger world, feeling ourselves here in this community. Everyone here committed to living more wisely, more kindly, to waking up, freeing ourselves from suffering. Recognizing the challenges and difficulties that we're all facing in different ways in these times. You might send out some wishes of loving kindness out into this community, all of us here together virtually, in our separate spaces and rooms and homes. May you be safe and free from harm. May you be safe and free from harm. Just letting the wishes go out more generally or to a specific individual. May you be happy, truly happy. May you be peaceful. May you be peaceful. And may you live with ease and with kindness. May you live with ease and with kindness. Just sending out the wishes, feeling them come into you too, feeling the blessings of others on you and your life, on each one of us. You might let the wishes go out into the country as a whole, particularly at this time when there's a lot of concern and worry among people of all stripes and all allegiances, a lot of pain that comes from the divisions in the country, a lot of people experiencing the pain of this time we're living through, the pandemic, whether in terms of loss of loved ones or fear of losses or health conditions for ourselves or for other loved ones or others we care about, as well as others within the broader society. Over 230,000 people have died. Maybe as many again will be lost in the coming couple of months. Just holding all in our hearts with care, with kindness. Wishing for the good health of all. Wishing that everybody act wisely and compassionately for the well-being of all. May you be safe and free from harm. May you be happy, truly happy. May you be peaceful. May you live with ease and with kindness. And letting our wishes go outward, out into the world, the wider world. People beginning lockdowns in France and in England and Ireland, other countries in Europe. And other countries in the world living with the impact of the virus, and often with very limited resources, sending out our wishes of kindness. Remembering people in France right now and the pain of the recent killings, just of innocent people, holding them in our hearts with kindness. And all our fellow creatures of the sea and the water and the air and the land, the animals and the birds and the insects, how they're affected by how we live too. Wishing that our actions are taken with the well-being of all creatures in our minds and hearts. Wishing that we all get through these coming days and weeks in a way that's peaceful and serves the well-being and happiness of all. May all beings everywhere be safe and free from harm. May they be happy and peaceful. May all beings be held in loving kindness, filled with loving kindness. May all beings awaken to their true nature and be free. So we're going to close up our session today with some announcements. I'll just mention to begin that, as you know, that unless you're very new, that there's no cost or charge for the class, but you're invited to give dana or generosity, which is the way the teachings have come down for 2,500 years. And Dan has shared the ways you can do that in the chat box, and I appreciate your support. And we'll turn it over to, I think, first to Michelle for announcements, and then to Pat. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, thanks, Hugh. So Dan also posted links to the Center for Mindful Living calendar and the IMCW calendars in the chat. And you can always check those calendars for lots of wonderful events throughout the week.
Those who helped organize the Tuesday, Wednesday activities. I think it's such a great resource. Please feel free to share those with friends and family and others. I think many people will benefit from some silent meditation or guided meditation, and the other movement and Reiki and the other activities, poetry and stories and all of that would be a lovely, lovely way of getting into action to absorb any anxiety that might be out there as results come in. You know, and so I say goodbye to you with a lot of hope and a little bit of apprehension, but hopefully on the other side, whenever that is, we'll be able to kind of move ahead in a compassionate and caring direction, which is my aspiration. Have a wonderful few days ahead, and any last minute getting out the vote that can be done. 100 million people will have voted, they estimate by tomorrow, even before the regular polls open on Tuesday. So that's a good thing. It's good, all this energy. So blessings to everyone, and see you next time.